Now, one reason why Ryanair is so profitable is because they max out the seat capacity on their Boeing 737. Yes, what they do is try to fit in as most people into this plane as possible, 189 seats, which is the highest the 737 can actually do. I mean, even here in the flight simulator, we have different layouts to choose from, 160 passengers, for example, as well, which some airlines go for, which, as you can see, features sort of a business class. But no, Ryanair does purely 189. But the question is, could Ryanair do more? Could they fit more people in this plane? And the truth is, of course, yes, there is a way to fit 300 people into a Boeing 737-800. Everybody, yes, in today's video, we're going to talk about the future of aviation. Apparently, the near future of aviation. According to this post, starting in 2026, several airlines plan to introduce standing-only seats on short-haul flights, aiming to carry lots of more passengers. See, what the standing-up cabin design is very good at is eliminating that stupid legroom right here. I mean, look, you could fit another seat in there. It would be a small seat, maybe for little people. No problem. You basically ride on this plane like you ride a bike on this saddle type thing, which kind of begs the question of, would you actually fly on this plane if tickets were as much cheaper as more seats can be fit into these planes? But everybody, turns out that I don't think this idea could work at all. And in today's video, we're going to talk about why. See, what I've done here now is digitally realize this idea. The standing seat on board a Boeing 737. And you can really tell quite a difference in legroom. And you can definitely tell that in the amount of seats I've been able to put into this plane. So much so that my computer is kind of struggling to handle this 3D model here. No, genuinely, this could be an idea. But the thing about incorporating such a Skyrider seat, as it's called, that's the actual, company that designed this, is that you couldn't just, fit these seats in there like normal. No, in order to incorporate this design, you would have to change the entire cabin layout of your plane. Why? I've kind of only realized that once I started modeling this. 737 cabins aren't very tall at all. Like, this woman right here probably isn't the tallest person in the world, and you can see that she wouldn't be able to properly stand beneath these overhead lockers. Look, you can't stand beneath those. We probably have like a ceiling height of like, what, 160 centimeters or so. I'm a very small person, and I wouldn't be able to stand here. You can actually see in most demonstrations that they had to change the overhead locker height as well to make this design work, so you would have to change those, and that's kind of like a problem of legality. Yes, before we even talk about the issues of this design, we already get to the problems. I mean, at least in the US, the Code of Federal Regulations say, according to the carry-on baggage article, that no certificate holder may allow an airplane to take off or land unless each article of baggage is stowed in a suitable closet, baggage, or cargo stowage compartment. Like, look how insanely tiny these overhead bins in the Skyrider demonstrator is. That's not gonna fit proper, actual hand baggage, right? You can maybe fit a phone in there or a laptop. Now that we don't really know about, though. What I can say is that this is immensely stupid. Anyway, just look at the amount of seats we've been able to put into this airplane theoretically with a relatively doable legroom. Yes, you could stand here. I counted 50 rows, which is 300 seats. This is exactly what the Skyrider seat wants to do. Higher the capacity of airliners. We have 63% more seats in this plane. That will make a big difference on flying. Though it makes a big difference on passenger comfort as well. Just for the kicks and giggles, I've tried to put passengers in it as well, which looks like this. Now they are really not doing well. Oh my god, they are really not. They are not doing well at all. Now, why did I have to design the poor passengers who are trying to lean against this so poorly? It's because my computer otherwise blows up. We have so many people, so many objects right here loaded in such a tight compartment that it really struggles with my computer. And this is why everyone looks the same. I really apologize about that, but it's just kind of a visualization of what this could look like. 300 people on board a 737. You may ask now, well, Swiss, would the 737 be able to handle that at all? And I think yes. When you are flying a plane, the actual flesh of people, especially if they're poor and not well fed and so have to fly standing cabin designs, make genuinely not much difference. I mean, look at her. chopped. The flesh of people of a 189-seat Ryanair 737 airplane when fully loaded is maybe 12 tons. And we're talking maybe 8 more tons when we have a situation like this, which makes not much difference. We could fly this plane, especially on short-haul flights where you can't carry much fuel. So no, I think that is not the problem. Also, of course, the idea of the standing seat would definitely not be to make all those seats standing, but actually have a 2-class configuration. The poors that have to stand, the rich that can sit down and maybe have a nap. We couldn't have a nap in this, could you? Oh my god, we're crashing. Whoa. So yeah, but flying wise, even when fully loaded, this doesn't make much difference. Look at this, 737 still goes off even after flying through grass. Look at this, this is totally fine. Everyone is completely happy, even though they don't really have a window. You're obviously situated a lot further up, so you couldn't be able to see out of the window at all. I mean, look, this is kind of our perspective from here. You might not even have like a window spot at all, because you're maybe like in between 2 windows, but you generally just, you'd have to like lean down to see something. I haven't thought about that. Maybe that is the reason why, you know, these Skyrider demonstrators don't have actual cabin walls, or like, because like the window would be here. Like, that would be so stupid. Either way, there's more reasons why I don't believe this is feasible or doable at all. Because there is no way with 300 people, but with this exact same amount of doors, even exit door, one of which is open for some reason, to be able to evacuate the plane in time in emergency. Every airliner has to be able to be evacuated within 90 seconds or less. And even if you could kind of like max out the 737 to, let's say, 220 passengers by having a few rows of standing seats, just the process of certification will be such a hurdle that I don't think it will happen. This would all have to be like so thoroughly like investigated and done to be able to fly more than 189 people. So this is like a really long-term thing if it will ever happen. Definitely not next year. Now, talking about emergencies and stuff, this cabin design is not crash-worthy at all, which is something very important. And I mean, you know, we're flying a low-cost airline, Ryanair, on a 737, a plane that can land relatively hard. Sometimes when you're doing a hard landing, which we are about to do, there's quite a large bump. And, you know, let me ask you, would you rather fall down from somewhere on a chair or on a bike saddle? Yes, everybody, maybe if you don't want to become a parent in the future, then that could be an idea. Yeah, you're poor, you shouldn't have children. Let's go ahead and land. Hard, very hard. Let's have the passengers suffer. Yes, everybody, that's what I'm talking about. Honestly, normal Ryanair landing at this point. That's just what it is. You know, the thing is that each seat type design approved for crew or passenger occupancy during takeoff and landing must successfully complete dynamic tests or be demonstrated by rational analysis based on dynamic. This is boring. Anyway, this is what I'm talking about with certification, which will be very hard to pull off. An airliner seat must pass a 16G dynamic crash test. Yes, it needs to be able to protect a passenger in an emergency. And the semi-standing saddle with tight load path would definitely need like a new restraint or like some sort of like an energy management system to correlate those pulses in there. Maybe you could like pull that off by adding like sort of like a dampening system in this thing onto which the seat is actually attached. You know what I mean? Maybe they could like have like a bouncing around system. But yeah, this is certification is just super hard. And also another question I have is, does this actually make sense for low-cost airlines? I mean, they don't really make a lot of money on the ticket sales, but they make money on extras. And as you can see, while they do have some sort of like a tray table right here, I don't know if it would be okay to eat the Ryanair lasagna on this. I don't know if you would still buy the Ryanair lasagna when you're sitting or we're standing here. Actually, this one is not that bad. This is not a saddle one. So this is all not really true. I don't know. Maybe this is going to happen far in the future, but not next year. And it would sure be interesting to find out whether people would want to fly on this. So buddy, the hurdles of certifying this aside, you know, the legalities, would you fly this? let me know in the comments section. And so thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow as always. Good night. And a special thanks goes out to my members, my supporters, Guns Killer, R27, James Duram, that dude, Anime Gods of Gaming, Derek, Insider Plane, Nishijitsu Finder, Professional Jamal, Ryland Williams, and New the York. You've got beautiful names.